Ernst & Young, the accounting and consulting firm, deployed an AI coding platform across tens of thousands of consultants earlier this year. Their internal results: 70% increase in software development productivity, delivery accelerated by up to 80 times, more than 95% automated test coverage. These are EY's own internal figures, not independent benchmarks, but they're the kind of numbers that shift enterprise AI adoption. The platform is called Software Factory. It's built by a company called 809 Labs, and on June 29th, Chamath Palihapitiya announced he's taking the full-time CEO role at 809 Labs while closing a $135 million Series A led by Salesforce Ventures. If you've been watching AI coding tools, Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, 8090 is playing a different game. They're solving the AI code is broken problem that everyone else is ignoring. Today I'll walk through what makes them different, why it matters, and what it signals about where AI coding is actually heading. Here's the honest state of AI generated code in mid-2026. For prototypes, side projects, and quick demos, AI coding tools are magical. Cursor and Claude Code have transformed how developers work at that scale. For actual production systems in regulated industries, healthcare, financial services, aerospace, insurance, AI generated code has been mostly unusable. The reason isn't that the AI can't write good code. It's that the code lacks the audit trails, test coverage, documentation, and compliance artifacts that regulated enterprises require. A hospital can't ship a patient record system built by AI without documentation of every design decision. A bank can't deploy fraud detection built by Cursor without formal test coverage reports. An insurance company can't run underwriting logic that was vibe coded overnight. The gap between AI wrote it and the compliance team approved it has kept AI coding out of the trillion-dollar enterprise market. 8090 built specifically for this gap. Software Factory is an AI coding agent designed for regulated enterprise customers. The core difference from other AI coding tools: every action the AI takes is auditable. When Software Factory writes code, it produces the code plus a design document explaining the architecture decisions, plus test coverage reports, plus compliance artifacts specific to the industry, plus the reasoning chain the AI used to make each decision. For a bank shipping a payment processing system, this changes the equation. Instead of AI generated code that a compliance team has to reverse engineer to approve, you get AI generated code that already has the documentation compliance teams need. The platform targets specific verticals: healthcare, insurance, life sciences, aerospace, energy, manufacturing, financial services, and government. Each vertical has pre-configured compliance templates: HIPAA for healthcare, SOC 2 for financial, FedRAMP for government. The AI knows which artifacts each domain requires. The business model: enterprise contracts, not developer subscriptions. Software Factory is used by teams of consultants and engineers deploying production systems, not by individual developers hacking on projects. The EY partnership is the case study that made 8090 credible. In March 2026, EY launched its EY.AIPDLC, Product Development Lifecycle Framework, built entirely on 8090's Software Factory platform. They deployed it across tens of thousands of consultants in US operations. The internal numbers: EY reported 70% increase in software development productivity, delivery accelerated by up to 80 times on some project types, more than 95% automated test coverage. Let's be clear about what these numbers mean and don't mean. These are EY's internal figures. They're not independently audited. Enterprise consulting firms have incentive to inflate AI productivity gains to justify their AI-first positioning. But EY is credible. They're not a startup with a product to sell. They have decades of software development experience across every major industry. When EY reports numbers like this in their internal operations, it's a real signal, even accounting for optimism bias. The 80 times delivery acceleration is the number that matters most. It's not saying developers are 80 times faster. It's saying that projects that used to take 80 days now take 1 day, because the AI handles the sequential dependencies that used to create bottlenecks. The choice of lead investor matters. Salesforce Ventures leading a $135 million round for an AI coding startup tells you something. Salesforce is going through its own AI transformation. In Q4 fiscal 2026, they closed 22,000 plus Agentforce deals. Mark Benioff imposed a software engineer hiring freeze because AI tools were delivering sufficient productivity gains. Salesforce's business model depends on AI actually working for enterprise customers. Investing in 8090 gives Salesforce insight into where enterprise AI coding is heading, and probably an integration path where Software Factory becomes the coding layer inside Agentforce workflows. The other investors, WNDR Co., Kraft Ventures, the Production Board, Launch, plus angels including Nikesh Arora and Adam D'Angelo. This is the enterprise SaaS investor circle. It's not the consumer AI hype crowd. This tells you where AI coding is really going. Enterprise deployment for regulated industries, not consumer productivity apps. Two implications for people who code. If you work as an individual developer or a small team building consumer products, the AI coding landscape you're using, Cursor, Claude Code, Copilot, will keep improving. These tools are getting better every quarter. Your productivity gains will keep compounding. If you work in enterprise software or regulated industries, the tool landscape is bifurcating. Consumer AI coding tools will remain useful for prototyping and internal tooling, but production deployment will increasingly require enterprise-grade tools with compliance and audit capabilities. The career implication: developers who understand both consumer AI tools and enterprise compliance requirements become more valuable. The junior developers doing rote coding work are getting replaced by AI. The senior developers who understand system architecture, compliance, and enterprise delivery are becoming more valuable. If you're mid-career and want to stay employable, learn the enterprise side, regulated industries, compliance frameworks, system architecture. That's where AI coding is going, and human judgment about those systems is what still gets paid. The 8090 story tells you what kind of AI businesses actually work in 2026. Vertical specialization matters more than general capability. 8090 isn't trying to be the best coding AI overall. They're trying to be the best coding AI for regulated enterprises. That focus lets them capture value where general purpose tools can't. Compliance is a moat. If your AI product handles the audit trails, documentation, and regulatory artifacts that specific industries require, you have durable advantages over competitors who don't. Consumer AI tools can be commoditized. Compliance-first enterprise tools stay valuable. Distribution partnerships matter. EY, deploying Software Factory across tens of thousands of consultants, is worth more than a viral demo on Twitter. Enterprise sales cycles are long, but the contracts are massive and sticky. If you're building an AI business, look for verticals where compliance requirements block current AI adoption. That's where the opportunity sits. I want to be honest about what's not clear yet. Whether 8090's productivity numbers hold up at scale across different enterprises is unproven. EY's internal deployment is one company. The claim gets more credible when independent enterprises replicate the results. Whether Chamath's leadership works at scale is uncertain. He's a proven investor and founder, but running an operating company day to day is a different skill than podcast hosting and investing. The next 12 months will show whether he can execute, whether regulated enterprises will adopt AI coding at the pace 8090 needs is the biggest question. Enterprise sales cycles are slow. Compliance approval processes are slow. Even with a great product, growth in this segment is measured in years, not quarters. That said, the direction is clear. Enterprise AI coding is real. The market is huge, and 8090 is one of the best positioned companies in it. In the comments, do you work in a regulated industry that hasn't adopted AI coding yet? Tell me the industry, and I'll walk through what an enterprise AI coding rollout would look like for your context. Subscribe. Next video is NVIDIA's new desktop agent that can run on its own for days, and what it means for knowledge work.